Hare Krishna. Can you hear me? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavadi Naishtigi. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam today. Vidya tapo yoga patam astitam tamadhishwaram charantam vishvasukridam vatsalyat lokamangalam. Reading from Canto 4, chapter 6, text 35. The demigod saw Lord Shiva situated in his perfection as the master of the senses. Knowledge, fruitive activities, and the path of achieving perfection. He was the friend of the entire world, and by virtue of his full affection for everyone, he was very auspicious. Purport: Lord Shiva is full of wisdom and tapasya, austerity. One who knows the modes of work is understood to be situated on the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One cannot serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead unless one has achieved a full perfectional knowledge in the ways and means of performing devotional service. Lord Shiva is described here as Adishvara. Ishvara means controller, and Adishvara means particularly controller of the senses. Generally, our materially contaminated senses are apt to engage in sense gratificatory activities, but when a person is elevated by wisdom and austerity, the senses then become purified, and they become engaged in the center of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They become engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva is the emblem of such perfection. And therefore in the scriptures it is said, Vaishnavanam yata Shambhuhu. Lord Shiva is a Vaishnava. Lord Shiva, by his actions within this material world, teaches all conditioned souls how to engage in devotional service 24 hours a day. Therefore, he is described here as Lokamangala, good fortune personified for all conditioned souls. Om Tat Sat Om Agyana Timirantasya Jnanan Jana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatana Vitamitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Kauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavati Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The demigod saw Lord Shiva situated in his perfection as the master of the senses, knowledge, fruitive activities, and the path of achieving perfection. He was a friend of the entire world, and by virtue of his full affection for everyone, he was very auspicious. This is a setting of the scene when the demigods led by Brahma are coming to see Lord Shiva after this horrific event of Shati passing away, immolating herself. So the scene is very nice. I think it's in Kailash. And the beautiful scenery is described, and the beautiful place of Lord Shiva is described And he's sitting under a very huge banyan tree, many, many miles width, in the shade of it, along with some exalted personalities. And when they saw him, they could see that he is, as it is mentioned here, Vidya Tapo Yoga Patham, Astitam Tam Adishwaram, Charantam Vishwas Sakrudam, Vatsalyal Lokamangalam. He is the Vishwa Sukrudam, the friend of all people in this world. He is Vatsalyat, he is full of affection for everybody. Lokamangalam, he is auspicious for everybody. And he is Vidya Tapaha, that is knowledge, austerity, fixed on the path of devotional service. And he is the master of the senses, Adishwaram. Right? So these are all the qualities described about Lord Shiva here. These are all qualities of a pure devotee of the Lord. These are all qualities you can say of Prabhupada also. Knowledge. He wrote these very brilliant commentaries. And the whole world is exposed to these commentaries. They are translated in innumerable languages. And everybody is exposed to these commentaries. They can all see how wonderfully he has brought the entire Vedic tradition, the entire essence of the understanding of the Vedas into practical, easy to understand, simple writings. And his commentaries are based on this time, this place, this situation, this circumstance. And he has, in that, spoken about social issues, the problems. He has even predicted what will happen in times to come and how Kali Yuga will be, and what precautions we can take, how we can use the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita to elevate ourselves. Brilliantly, he has written this Vidya, Tapasya. Speak about it. We don't have to talk too much about it. We know that what austerities that Prabhupada went through, and he is able to go through because of his deep love for humanity, as it is mentioned here. Vishwa Sukhridam. Actually speaking, Prabhupada was the world's best friend. Vishwa Sukhridam. He wanted to benedict everybody in this world. Whatever they have done to him, right or wrong or whatever, they are doing it in their own mode of being influenced by the modes of material nature. I don't have to take that seriously. Similarly, Lord Shiva also was very compassionate to the demigod. He said, people do all sorts of things in this world under the control of the material nature. And if they are not careful enough, they will do horrible activities. So I know that, and I'm not going to take that seriously. I want to, from my side, benefit people in the right way. What is the point of reacting to things that people do in this world? Then I will also become as good as them or worse than them. Right? I know the truth. And it is up to me to remain beyond the clutches of Maya and see how to benefit people. This is the meaning of a sadhu. So these are all qualities of a sadhu. So you can see that Prabhupada was very much the friend of everybody. And he never took all these things seriously. Although he would chastise you, it was not in his heart at all. It didn't remain in his heart as a grudge or something. Prabhupada was too sophisticated, too high class to fall into any of those trappings. So he remained a friend of everybody. And he was willing to perform any austerity because he knew that this austerity will be useful and people will be benefited by Krishna consciousness. And that is what everybody needs. Everybody is hungry for Krishna. So these are all the background of a personality like Lord Shiva that you see inside what is going on. These are all the qualities of a person inside him. You may not see this outside when you see Lord Shiva. But these demigods are very advanced people also. They're not like ordinary human beings. So they're able to see Lord Shiva is sitting there, and he is the epitome of a person who can control his senses. Peaceful. His senses are not troubling him. His mind is not troubling him. He remains determined to be friendly and vatsalya, full of affection. This is what attracts people. Genuinity. A person is genuine. And you can see that here. So a devotee is lokamangalam, all auspicious, because he is bringing the absolute truth into the relative world. And since he is in association with the absolute truth, he cannot get affected by the relative world. Right? And he is calm, peaceful, willing to take any austerity, because that austerity is a great joy for him. That austerity is a great joy. This is what everything in this world is karma bhumi. People are interested in working with their mind, with their intelligence, with their hands, legs, body, and producing a material result and enjoying that. They are all active because they are driven by the mode of passion for fruitive activities. And here it says, the Lord is the master of fruitive activities and the path of achieving perfection. These are all very much connected terminologies. The austerity means I will do everything necessary physically, mentally, intellectually, everything for the sake of serving the people of this world so that they may get Krishna. This is austerity. This is austerity. The result is not mine. The result belongs to Krishna. And Krishna is very happy with such a devotee. And the devotee is the capacity for austerity because he is in love with Krishna. You have to be in love with the Lord in order to be able to be austere in devotional service. All these are a triangle. If you don't have love for the Lord, your austerity will become dry, and after some time it will harden your heart. That's what will happen. So many of these Mayavadis, impersonalists, they don't have an attraction to the form of the Lord. They don't have an attraction towards the Lord. But for Gyan, for the sake of getting Gyan, they perform austerity. That austerity actually hardens them. But here the Lord is a master of austerity. Here Lord Shiva is a master of austerity. And is a master of fruitive activities. What does that mean? He doesn't do any fruitive activities. He is rubbing the ashes from the crematorium on him. He stays under some tree. He doesn't even have a residence. What is the fruitive activity he needs to perform? For what fruit? He doesn't care for it. He's not interested in anything material. This is Lord Shiva actually. When people worship Lord Shiva, calling devotees of Lord Shiva, they should know the exalted state of Lord Shiva. How he is completely detached. Right? He's completely detached. So, what fruitive activity is mentioned here? That he is the master of fruitive activity. What does it mean? I am not attached to the fruit. I become the master of fruitive activity when I am not attached to the fruit, and the fruit I offer to Krishna. Fruit of it I offer to Krishna. Krishna is the proprietor. Right? Krishna is the proprietor. So, the fruit of his work, Yajñattat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana, like Krishna says. Such a person is very firmly convinced that the result of my activities should be enjoyed by Krishna. That is great enjoyment for me. That is my fruit. That is my fruit. Right? So, I don't mind taking any amount of austerity Hard work done by people in the material world for their own sense pleasure converts to hard work, austere work done by a devotee, and is very happy to offer it entire fruits to Krishna. Feels fulfillment and satisfaction. This is the meaning of master of fruitive activities. Sarvam karma kilam. Everything in this material world is tainted with the desire for fruit. Everything we do, you will see. And that is the problem. That is the problem. Whenever we do something, whenever we even talk, whenever we do anything, we are thinking how we can get any result for ourselves. And it is a program that runs on us. It's unless you are told about it, given knowledge about it, you won't know about it. That's why it says here that Prabhupada is saying here, Lord Shiva is full of wisdom and tapasya, austerity. One who knows the modes of work is understood to be situated on the path of devotion service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One cannot serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead unless one has achieved full perfectional knowledge in the ways and means of performing devotional service. So this is not ordinary knowledge, right? He knows how the modes operate. He knows how this world operates. He knows what will happen. Very clear. And he has got the knowledge and he's performing devotional service, solidly being situated in knowledge, solidly being situated in himself, in his identity, very solidly understanding who is Krishna and very stably situated. Cannot be disturbed. Cannot be disturbed by material nature, cannot be disturbed by the three modes. This is the meaning of knowledge. Knowledge that helps you to settle down and be peaceful in devotional service. That is called perfectional knowledge. That's called perfectional knowledge. So that helps you to perform devotional service. That's why we are reading Bhagavatam. When we read Bhagavatam, when we read Bhagavad Gita, we get inspired by those instructions. We get inspired by that amazing information given. This is how things work in this world. This is how this material world works. This is how you work in this situation and circumstance, in this coordinates. Now you start working for Krishna. This is our situation. Prakriti sthani karishati. If we were not doing devotional service, we would be sitting and wrestling with the material nature. Karishati, grappling with it. Pulling, pushing, twisting, kicking. All that time you'll have to be grappling. But he, Lord Shiva, is very peacefully situated. There's no question of him getting agitated by material nature because he has perfect knowledge. So one can be knowledgeable in devotional service and situate himself and perform devotional service. In other words, for being steady in your devotional service, perfectional knowledge is a prerequisite. That's what Krishna describes in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Right? So, Nihi Jnanena Satrisham Pavitram Tatsvayam Yoga Samsiddhi Kalenatmani Vindati. Krishna is explaining this in the 4th chapter very nicely. What is this knowledge? Right? So, Lord Shiva is in knowledge. That is why, even after all these things have happened, he's cool. He knows he has acted correctly, as per the law, as per the scripture, with a perfect mood to render service to Krishna, and he's calm. He knows he is not in the wrong. He's not in the wrong. This is very amazing. He has beheaded Daksha and he has, done many things there willfully with the plan, and he knows he has not done anything wrong. So he's peaceful. A person who knows he has done wrong, who is guilty, who is passionately involved in material exercise for the sake of the fruit, they can never be peaceful. They can never be peaceful. Only in goodness, at least, you can be to some extent peaceful. There also, that goodness itself will trouble. A person who has transcended the modes is a person who is peaceful. Right? So that's mentioned here. And we can map this on our own situation. We have to think and know that this is a situation. Because similar like this is Prabhupada. He was very active. You can say he was even more active than the fruitive workers of this world. Very, very active. Multitasking with so many things happening. Sitting and translating books 6 hours a day in the night. Taking morning walks and defeating fallacious philosophies which were posed by his disciples. Coming back, greeting the deities, giving a Bhagavatam class. Then sitting and attending to regular organizational matters. Are the books printed? Who is being appointed here? Who is in charge of this center? What's the mess here? What happened here? Everything, gets to know all these things. And then with a little small rest after his daily chores, he would again be up, attending to devotees, going for a program, morning program, evening program, afternoon meeting with people, and never a free time. There's no time saying this is my private time. His private time was only when he was translating the Bhagavatam. In the middle of the night when everybody else is sleeping, he was in ecstasy writing those purports. So what's the question of a private time and public time for a person who's a devotee? There is only one time, Krishna time. My time with Krishna. Everything I do is for Krishna. I'm constantly thinking of him. And I'm constantly thinking of pleasing him. And the Lord of my heart, the love of my heart, because of my love for him, I can't take him out of my head. There is only Krishna time. There's nothing called private time. There's not called public time. Actually, whether I'm in public or in private, I'm absorbed in Krishna. Right? So a devotee that is described here, like Lord Shiva, is a devotee whose association should be sought. They say that the crows and the eagles fight. But the eagle just doesn't mess around with the crows, simply flies away higher. And the crows cannot reach. Just cannot reach. So the eagle does not go around pecking the crows and swooping down and putting himself in a lower position. He just flies and stays on top. And at that level, no crows can get him. Only eagles can get him. Right? So Prabhupada was like an eagle flying. He didn't mess around with all these other jnanis and karmis and all sorts of people and, with their relativity, existence and their desire for this and that and pulling you down. He just kept serving Krishna. He was in his own world, absorbed in Krishna. At the same time, offering himself to everybody. A person who is solidly situated, Atmavan, in himself and in his relationship with Krishna. And he knows what this world is. It's a world of illusion. And he knows how to stay there carefully without getting affected. That person is what is being described here. Right? Very unique qualities. So Lord Shiva was filled with these type of qualities. It is rarely that people know Lord Shiva as a great devotee of Krishna. Vaishnavanam yata Shambhu. So these qualities very clearly describe that he is a great Vaishnava. Right? So we are all aspiring to have these qualities and to be rich inside. This is a richness inside that is being described. In the world outside, you'll be reading Ambani, he's got so much wealth. Bill Gates has got so much wealth. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk and Adani and all these people listed. They have so much wealth and this is their lifestyle. This is how they live and this, everything. But when we come into the world of the Bhagavatam, you will hear about the richness of people described here. This is real opulence. This is real richness. Because all that other stuff, you will die. None of them will stay with you. This is permanent asset. Bhakti is a permanent asset. And these are all qualities of a person who is immersed in Bhakti. And this is permanent. Because loving Krishna is not just some ordinary puppy love or, some ordinary crush that you have on somebody. Loving Krishna is your constitutional activity. And it is very deep and a serious stuff. And it's your greatest wealth, your greatest treasure. Right? Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Seva, Tinera, Mahadana. These three are great wealth. So we become rich by accumulating devotion in us, by which we do devotional service. So who is rich? Who is really a crorepati? Kaun Banega Crorepati program. I used to see that many years back, and now also I think it's still current. Kaun Banega Crorepati? None of these people who have got crorepati will ever become crorepati, because whatever crore they have got will get lost. They will also die. Really speaking, Kaun Banega Crorepati means who will actually become the richest? One who chants Hare Krishna, one who has complete faith in the absolute truth explained in the scripture. Associating with him and serving him in connection with him is automatically the richest person. Value systems shift. It's not based on money. This is richness. Developing these qualities is the greatest asset and the greatest richness that you can ever imagine. So we are all working towards developing these qualities. And we should do everything possible. We should not think, there's Lord Shiva, it's not me. This is the first trick. What do you mean, Lord Shiva? These are qualities described that Lord Shiva has. And these are qualities that Prahalad also has. These are qualities that Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has. These are qualities that Sanatana Goswami had. These are qualities that Rupa Goswami had. These are qualities that many other devotees may be having, we don't even know. But this is what is the goal of life. This is what is the goal of life. Don't think that this is not achievable. We are performing devotional service to achieve this level of wealth. This is wealth creation. This is wealth. Because this will stay permanently with you. And it will make money irrelevant and redundant to your life. See? Lord Shiva is not bothered about name, fame, glory, nothing. It has no value with him. You see, people will be wondering, what is it you're not, less like, the famous story of Sanatana Goswami and the touchstone. And that Brahmana thought, I want to go back and ask him, why did he put it in the waste paper basket? In his world of bhakti and devotional service to Krishna, it has no value. It can touch everything and make into gold, touchstone, it has no value. But the touchstone of the holy name has got value. I love it. I like to chant. It puts me in touch with Krishna. I get so close to Krishna. Jai Jagannath Baladev Shubhatramai ki. I can get so close to Krishna. I can taste Krishna. And Krishna is the most valuable thing anybody can get anywhere in the entire creation. And if you can get love for Krishna, how? It is not the most great treasure. Therefore, these qualities are coming out because the person possesses bhakti. He possesses the great treasure. This should be the goal of life. Why we are reading Bhagavatam? We get inspired to, this is the type of richness I want. Why you do MBA? Why you do training here? Why do you study? To make money. Everybody on the social media, everywhere looking at Jeff Bezos, looking at this, I want to be a rich man like him. And everybody moving ahead with great focus on that. And mostly nobody becomes. Very few people. It's a very, very small percentage of people. 1% of the world's population holds 44% of the world's wealth. And you can imagine what a small percentage of people actually make it. But the whole world, they are all geared up and egged up and kindled so much to, I will also become like this. I will also become like that. I will also be taken for a great ride. Taken for a great ride. Mostly nobody becomes anything. They just die wanting to become, and they're born again to become, and again they die wanting to become, and their karma impedes them. They're finally somewhere in the jackpot they'll hit in one of those lifetimes, and they'll become maybe. But what is a big deal? You'll unbecome anyway when you die. But Bhakti is a constant, permanent possession. The spirit soul is eternal. And his real wealth is possession of Bhakti. Not even liberation, not even Mukti. Mukti in all very low level. Bhakti possession automatically brings these qualities. And out of this scintillating quality is this constant surrender to Krishna. This is Lord Shiva's quality. So you can see here the demigods, when they come there, they can see this. This person is like this. And therefore they surrender to him. It's not because he is Trimurti demigod they surrender to him. It is not only because he is capable of killing Daksha and showing his material capacity that they are surrendering to him. It is that they understand he's like this. We all want to be devotees like you, Lord Shiva. This is what is being mentioned. Even Markandeya Rishi was a great devotee of Lord Shiva in his younger days. You know, the famous story of him holding the Shivlinga, and Maharaj could not, move him because he was supposed to die. And then he became Chiranjeevi because of Lord Shiva's support. That same Markandeya gradually became a great devotee of Krishna. That he was during the Pralaya able to see by his desire the Lord on a leaf, banyan tree leaf during the Pralaya. That was his desire. He wants to see Krishna's Maya and material energy. And there he saw that the Lord is sucking his big toe from his feet. And very beautiful looking child floating in the waters of the Pralaya. Right? And Markandeya Rishi was completely thrilled. He got this darshan. And he became a devotee. And then Lord Shiva comes to meet him, incidentally. And he is telling him, what service can I do for you? And Markandeya Rishi is saying, this is in the 11th or 12th canto. And Markandeya Rishi is saying that just like you are a devotee of Achyuta, please bless me that I will also become such a devotee like you. Varamekam vrinethapi purnat kama vivarshanat. Varamekam, one varam, one boon I want to ask of you. Purnat kama vivarshanat, one who is able to fully satisfy everybody's desires, who is Shiva. Just like you are a devotee of Achyuta. Bhagavati Achyutam Bhaktim Tat Pareshu Tatatvayi. Just like you are a devotee of Achyuta, let me also be dedicated to him. And Lord Shiva was so happy to bless him so. So Markandeya Rishi, we know that he's a great devotee, and if you go to Puri, you will see that that's where he saw during Pralaya, and there was only one island there, that was where Nilachal is, and there is Markandeya Sarovar, and this pastimes details there also. So Lord Shiva, I was very pleased with the prayers of Markandeya, and he awarded him blessings. So when we meet the devotees of the Lord, amongst devotees, everybody wants to become rich. They want to gain bhakti. It's a direct opposite of what people do in this world. If we keep our mind focused on trying to be rich by acquiring bhakti, then the culture itself will be very different. Everybody is wanting to serve each other and get mercy, blessings, so that I'll be a devotee. That's the culture. Nobody is trying to materially affect another person. That is how to become poor in bhakti. If you want to become poor in bhakti, you want to suffer poverty in bhakti, then you can do these type of things within the society and within the body and the group and community of Vaishnavas. You can go inside and probe for material requirements. That's the easy way to lose whatever richness you have and become poverty-stricken and suffer. Right? So inside the domain of devotees, we should all know what is valuable. It's bhakti. And therefore, what should I do? I should serve that person who is rich with bhakti. Or even he has some amount of bhakti. Doesn't matter. And if I please him, when he asks me, what do you want? I can say, like what Markandeya Rishi told Lord Shiva. Right? Varamekam pranayathapi purnat kama vivarshanat. This is intelligence. But our mind is not allowing us to do that. Our mind is distracting us as many, many different, all sorts of images of sense gratification. And under the modes, it is pushing us with many, many, many plans, many suggestions. But it takes a lot in us to keep that at bay and focus on bhakti. This is called sadhana. Sadhana means having good knowledge about what I should be doing. Sadhana becomes easier if you have knowledge. Sadhana becomes easier if you read, study nicely, deeply, and then act to imbibe these things in devotional service. We should not be sitting and reading all the time like Pandits alone. We will not be able to, beyond a certain extent, digest things. We should put it to use. What we have read, we should apply. And then we should see what is the effect of it. Then the realization is greater. Then you come back to reading. It's like a spiral. In a spiral, you go deeper and deeper. That is the right. It's a cyclical spiral. Learning, education, it goes like a cone deep inside. So Lord Shiva is a person who has reached the edge of that cone. Is peacefully settled in Krishna consciousness. There's nothing for him to worry. Even if his wife commits suicide, he is not actually worried. He is not worried. He knows that she'll come back to him. Because of knowledge, because of being peaceful in bhakti, no anxiety about anything material that happens untoward. Right? So these are amazing qualities. I'm just giving a general overview. This is why bhakti is so important. This is why reading the Bhagavatam is important, because you can learn these things. Our values should shift from material values to bhakti value. I don't call it spiritual value. I want to call it bhakti value. Everything should be seen in connection with Krishna. When it is seen in connection with Krishna, automatically you know bhakti is the value. Right? When we don't see it in connection with Krishna, something else becomes valuable and we get diverted and our whole devotional life gets diluted. Let's get diluted. That's when we will feel our moroseness and not very happy and things are not going on properly. Because somewhere along the line in the subtle body, you got cheated. You've been cheated and you went down the rabbit hole somewhere. Alice in Wonderland. And you're seeing all sorts of images and great things happening. And I am not in the right place. We are definitely all of us in the wonderland of Alice. the wonderland of Maya. We've lost. Value systems are lost. We don't know what is good, what is right, everything. So, Krishna consciousness is what is giving us that picture theoretically first. And then we aspire for it and we gradually become situated in that reality. So this is the goal of life. We are not doing sadhana just like that. We're just not reading Bhagavatam just like that. So we have a purpose behind. We want to become situated like Lord Shiva has described here. Peaceful, full of knowledge, good to everybody. Because I have no enmity towards anybody. I don't see anybody as enemy because there's no need to for me. So isn't doing sadhana just like that to be, and just not reading Bhagavatam just like by Krishna consciousness proposal put by Bhakti Swami Prabhupada. Is challenging everybody's intelligence, is challenging everybody's existence. Let's see if you can take this. This is an offer from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this time, now you can actually achieve perfection by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, offenselessly, reading the Bhagavatam and following his prescription. Right now you can do it. And people are already doing it. They are passing away from this world, right, in full Krishna consciousness. And this is of great pleasure and great enthusiasm and inspiration to all of us that the movement set up by Prabhupada is sending people back to Godhead. Because they all faithfully follow what Prabhupada said. And come what may, whatever problems there are, still they are saved by Krishna. This is victory. This is success. This is the purpose of life. And Prabhupada's movement does that. And those who follow Prabhupada's instructions carefully, with great sincerity, they are guaranteed to go back to Godhead and achieve, even before that, this type of a situation, as is described of Lord Shiva. Om Tat Sat. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki.
Maharaj, there is a question on chat.
Any question or comment? Any question or comment?
Maharaj, there is a question on chat.
Question from Sudha Paramesh. If people worship devatas, of course, with some material motive, will the devata not direct the devotee to Krishna because they do not have the knowledge that Krishna is supreme? Well, the devatas themselves are preached to by Krishna, but they don't take it up so easily. So it's only very special devatas like Shiva. Shiva is very, very special, who are known to do that, who are known to push you into devotion service. But others normally, it is not so common, but they won't disturb your devotion service if you are doing. And they're always very pleased because they are also devotees trying to be perfected. But on their own volition, I don't think they are in a mood to, though sometimes we do hear. We hear them glorifying Krishna and Vishnu and Narayana as a supreme and everything. They all know that. And if anybody is trying for pure devotional service, they are very happy about it. Prabhupada told us that devotees, demigods are devotees with material desires. And therefore they are in that position. So normally when they are in that position, if they have knowledge about it, they may instruct others. But the problem with instructing others is if you're not so fixed in certain things, it's difficult to instruct others. Mostly you won't instruct because you know, I am myself not doing it. So I won't. So this is a theoretical question because mostly demigods are very busy in their own world. And there are many things happening there too. They're also absorbed. But generally speaking, they are devotees. They are very pious. And the climate there is more inclined towards this thing. But to match that, there is a lot of material facility. So imagine such a person that on his own will direct a person, no, you should do devotional service. Sometimes, many times, our situations are like that. We are in devotional service, we believe it, we understand it, but we have material attachments in this world, and we are doing this way, that way a little bit. And when people come to ask us questions about how to get pure devotion, we'll normally direct them to, I think you should speak to so-and-so. He is very good. Like that. So although we know, and although we may instruct sometimes by saying that I'm not a great devotee, but this is what is required, I'm also striving for it. Sometimes you can instruct somebody like that also. It also has got effect, inspiration, and everything. But rarely have I seen any instructions, maybe here and there patch, somebody like a demigod giving instructions to somebody to become a devotee. Enmity towards anybody. Pure devotees are the ones who do that. Bhagavatas. Prabhupada told us it is more rare to come across a Bhagavata, a pure devotee, than to come across a demigod. Pure devotional service is rare. So we are having the association of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is very, very rare. Right? Even demigods desire the association of a pure devotee. If you go to our Samadhi in Mayapur, you will see all the demigods are offering flowers to Prabhupada on the roof in the Samadhi. And the first time I saw it, I said, how can this be? How can this be? But it's true. If you read the Bhagavatam, you know that the devotee is very, very special to Krishna. So that's why I made a point here saying that all the demigods know this about devotional service. They're appealing to Shiva in the mood of him being a Vaishnava. They're not actually only coming to him because he's the demigod, one of the Trimurtis, very powerful, and he may do something wrong to you or something like that. They know. They know. At the same time, Lord Shiva can get angry also. See, a devotee can perform both. To be a good example, he follows the Varnashrama properly, and he makes sure that those who don't follow get the wrong side of him. And at the same time, he's a serious executor of devotional service. Because we live in this material world, we have to also show people how to live in this material world properly and pursue Krishna consciousness. Both we have to show. So a devotee is a combination. An active preacher devotee is a combination of these things. I hope that helps you. Sudha Paramesh. Any other question or comment? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki.